Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm going to spar with VolcanoShed now. So let me kill this audio that's going off in my head here. Alright, here we are. So I'm going to spar with VolcanoShed now. Should be good. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Sorry, the mic's going to move here really quick. Alright, VolcanoShed, let's do this. Let me check my audio though, make sure everything's cool. I just wanted to check and make sure everything's going well on my stream. But I hope you're doing well. Alright, here we go. Crap. Let's undo that. Let's cue south, left. Let's be player 2. Okay. Thanks so much for your patience, VolcanoShed. So we're doing the first to 10. I haven't fought VolcanoShed in a while. I am pretty sure there's going to be some stuff that's going to wreck me, but let's work on it and let's see what they've got. Very good. Neutral throw. Excellent. They went with throw here. Alright, I like it. Good. I was thinking they were going to go for a low here, but they went with the mid. Very good. Solids. Mid is always good. Okay, good. This is really good. They need to tech that. They can tech roll that because of the weird way that it hit. So because of the weird way that it hit, they could have tech rolled that. I inputted wrong. They would have still got me though. Good. Doing the mid here is a really good choice. Good. The low punch here was good. They did it in time. If they did it any later, they would have gotten it. I like this crush. Got to get used to the rollbacks, but there wasn't enough signs that that was a rollback hit. All right, good first game. I'm gonna take my headphones off since I can't even hear it anyways. But it's good. I don't know if my sound's playing because I couldn't hear the audio on. I'll check that later. That is weird. Okay, it is playing.
Round 1. Ready? Go!
But yeah, it's weird that I got no audio at all though. Oh, that's so good. I like that. I really like the way he's playing. Very good. Man, that rollback hit's annoying. That rollback hit's really annoying. I wanted to go for Okizemi.
Round 4.
Alright, that was a really fun game too. Good stuff, Volcano. Good stuff. Again, thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate it a lot. We haven't fought in a bit, so really excited about this. I don't even have my stream manager on. I should put it on that. Put it on after this game. Like, I haven't even seen what people are chatting. Very good. Good recovery hit.
Round 3. Ready? Go!
Okay. Very good.
Round 4. Ready? Go!
I like that. Alright, let's set our stream manager on. Okay, thank you. I can see that there's a lot of chats. Sorry, I didn't see your chats. Alright. No, these are chats from the other day. Okay, great. Hope everyone's doing really well on this Tuesday morning. I'm playing a little bit before work, and then I wish I could do more battles today, but this is all I can do for the moment. But we will do leagues later tonight, but it's going to start a little later. Alright, so we're going mid. Yeah.
Round 2. Ready? Go!
Very good. I like this throw choice. Very good. That's really cool.
Knockout.
Very good.
Round 3. Ready? Go!
Alright, get used to rollback hits. We can see it. Get used to that rollback hit too. Oh, nice. Nice.
Round 4. Ready? Go!
Ah, I should have committed to it. That's it. It's a weird choice. Okay. He went with the full stream, which is good. Hey, good to see you, Bronx. How are you doing? How are you doing, Bronx Jackie? Hope you're doing very well.
Round 1.
So I think that was a rollback hit. That's okay.
Round 2. Ready, go!
I thought I escaped that too. That's okay. That was back throw.
Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout.
That was exciting. Still at work? Hope you're having a good day at work, Bronx. I'm about to start my day at work soon. After this battle, I'll have to go to work. But tonight we are going to be doing Chanchai's Dojo's dojo sessions, our Tuesday night dojo sessions we do every Tuesday night. It's going to be later tonight, though. It's going to be probably 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which means midnight Eastern Time.
Ready, go!
It's just I got to do stuff for my daughter's school.
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go!
Oh, that was such a good crush. Nice. Nice doing for the spin kick.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Really good. That's really nice. That was really good.
Knockout.
Good.
Round 4. Ready, go!
Nice.
Knockout.
Okay, good. I like this approach. This approach is much better. It's not going to lose to 4-4K as much. Keep it up. That was an excellent, excellent game. Hey, Ka. Awesome. I'll be happy to see you there tonight. I'll be really happy to see you there tonight, Ka. This is a lot of fun. I like the way VolcanoShed's playing this. He's playing this way, way stronger. It's really good.
Ready, go!
The range is much better, too. Yep.
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go!
I like that. That was really good. That was good going for the 9K plus D here.
Round 4.
Alright, just mids. The offensive move was a little greedy. Very good game.
What a knucklehead.
It was at least on a counter hit low punch though.
Round 1. Ready, go! Round 2. Ready, go!
Yeah, I like that weight.
Knockout.
Good. That was really good.
Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout.
That was excellent. I like the options he chose here.
Round 4.
Let's see.
Ready, go! Knockout. Round 5. Ready, go! Excellent. See? I thought I'm better.
Man, keep it up with the Kage, but Brad is always very, very good. Very solid.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Yeah.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Nice. Nice.
Knockout. Round 3.
I like that, Crush. That was an exciting game. Very exciting battle. Good stuff. Thank you guys very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thanks for checking in on this match. I hope you guys like the interface. Let me know if that's okay with you guys. I really do need to set the stream manager on my forward-facing screen, so I'm not looking too much to the side. I like that. That was just a little too greedy here. If your elbow's blocked, you're gonna have to defend.
I want a serious fight.
It's really, that is one of the biggest challenges of Kage though, is making that judgment about when to use his stances.
Round one. Ready, go!
Good.
Knockout. Round two. Ready, go!
Good defiance.
Knockout. Round three. Ready, go!
Good. He went with the elbow here, which is very good. It cost him earlier when he went with a high or a throw. So.
Round four. Ready, go!
Should let go earlier. Good. Good. Yeah, just wait for it. If they roll away, like, you shouldn't try to attack it. You should just try to beat the right. Just finish the rising attack. Too early. Good. Use the back throw. That was excellent. I really liked that. That rush was excellent. And then he also improvised when he didn't get the thing that he wanted. He made good use. He improvised.
Round one.
Good.
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go!
Good. I like his adjustments here.
Knockout. Round 4. Ready, go!
Tsubaki doesn't work there.
Knockout.
I like that low punch there. It was gonna stop. It stopped exactly what it needed to.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Almost.
Knockout.
That was an intense game. Very intense game. A lot of tussling there.
See? I thought I'm better. Round 1. Ready, go! Ring out. Round 2. Ready, go!
Let's ring out. Good round.
Ring out. Round 3. Ready, go! Excellent. Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout. See? I thought I'm better. Round 1. Ready, go!
Good. Man. Good. He should have rung me out. I think back throw would have rung me out.
Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go!
Good games.
3 out.
Whew. Let's ask if you would like to voice chat.
See? I thought I'm better.
That was a very good game. Thanks so much for the battle. Very, very good game. We're gonna have them send me the call. We'll do VFTV while we're doing that. So VFTV is always fun. That was a really fun first to 10. It was a really good battle. I have time for a little bit of a chat. And yeah, I really, really appreciate it a lot. Look, they're always improving. VolcanoShed's always improving. And this matchup can be tough because Kage is the one that's really good at crushing, and Leon can crush too, right? But also they both have good it's an interesting battle, so it's always an interesting fight with them. So a lot of the scary decisions were happening kind of more mid-range, I think. More in the closer to medium disadvantage. If we're gonna even give that a name, because normally I don't identify anything as that. But I felt like we were fighting a lot in like the +4 space.
Round 2.
At least just a gut feeling.
Ready, go!
Let's see. I'm receiving calls from them. Oh, missed call. Okay. All right. Hey there. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Hey, well, that was really good. You know, I know that you're always improving, and I thought that that fight was really, really good. It was really scary. And so, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Kage's up to 3K. I definitely appreciated it this set.
Which one? The 3K?
Oh, yeah. 3K,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sidekick's really good, and Kage's sidekick is extremely solid. It's a really good move. But yeah.
Yeah. And I really like that, even on counter hit, I still have,
Nitaku.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's really nice.
it's really good, and you do got to use it, but like you noticed on when you posted on X that like you posted it about Lao, but it's very true that like with sidekick, a lot of times when you counter hit with it, you get Nitaku, but now they're like in range, so it's not like the range Nitaku, which is not Nitaku, right?
Yeah.
But range, but Kage does have a good range game even when you have that too. So he's got a good kind of mid-range zoning game, you know. But the straightforward Nitaku is always extremely strong, and it's really good against Leon. So, you know.
Yeah. I also felt like, man, I felt like your power escapes were like pretty on point. I just remember, I think it was like game 7 or game 8 on like Aoi stage. Like it was like near the end of the round, and I figured, okay, let's go for back throw because like his back's to the ring, he's gonna break forward, right? But then you escaped it, bro, and won the round. So I was like, okay. Okay, so I know he's breaking back, so I'm gonna try to save forward throw and landed when he's not expecting it. So and then I won the next 2 rounds, and then I figured, okay, here's my chance to land a forward throw. And then when I go for it, it gets broken.
Yeah. So that one I can't tell you much because my throw escaping sometimes is I'm leaving it to my subconscious to do it. What I can tell you though, but I can tell you kind of how I go into it against Kage. But then understand that like where it starts changing is because of how I'm feeling in the match. Generally, I'm doing a lot of forward throw escape against Kage, right? That's normal. But that changes over time, and in the first to 10, you're gonna see that those changes, right? And that's changing because, like for you, I think you did do a lot of forward throws. Well, you mixed it. You actually started with neutral was your first throw in the set. And then you started doing more back throws, right? And you did not like a ton, but you were trying to also get a little more comfortable on throws, but you were doing back throws. And I was like, that's good. He's doing the back throws and I'll take them. What changes me to start escaping back throw is if I'm losing enough on balance. So if you're starting to really like you're getting games, you're getting rounds, and now it's like, okay, we got to actually try to act on our reads more, right? And generally, I'm a player that acts on my reads when it comes to a lot of things. But against Kage throw escape, it's not. I more act on strategy first, and then I'll shift into it the more desperate I get, or the more pressure. In the case of like the end of the round, I would say on the end of the round, how low was my health when you said that I escaped the back throw? How low was the health?
Okay, so basically, I was at like, I only had a tiny bit of life left, and you had like, I think above 80%, and your like back was near the edge.
Ah, okay.
So
that one you should just go for forward throw, like flat out. In that situation, you should have just gone for forward throw. And the reason is because you can still fight after the throw escape. Just be prepared to fight the throw escape. That's it. Yeah. Like the call is, I can win this if I do the forward throw. Regardless, right? And I think back throw in that situation, it's not gonna win. It's just gonna do damage, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because of that, like you should 100% just do the forward throw. Not because you want to win with the throw so bad, but because it's the correct play if they guess wrong, and 2, even if they guess right, I'm worried more about the Abare than I'm worried about the throw direction. You're worried more about the Abare than you're worried about the throw direction in that situation because you're going to die by Abare. So you've made your commitment that you're going to do a throw. So in this case, I would say it would have been more correct to go with the forward throw. I did do back throw. My instinct, for whatever reason, told me to do back throw escape. Even though most of the time when I fight Kage, it's like, just do the forward throw escape. So whatever reason, my instinct went off on that. And so my instinct would have worked against me if you just did that. But in this case, this is where you're trying to win the throw decision a little too much. But you should have absolutely gone for the forward throw. because especially with that deficit of health, right? Then you're like, well, if I'm going to commit to a throw, it might as well be the winning one. And if he does throw escape, it's not bad. So so I would say it was just more that you made this blunder, and I happened to counter the blunder. Okay. And I couldn't tell you why I did that because honestly, it should have been a forward throw escape. So that makes sense on your part, but you still would have had a stronger winning chance. Because you've got me in the ring out position, and I think if I escape the forward throw, I think we're now parallel to the wall, or parallel to the ring out, and Kage can still ring out that way, right? So it's like, so I feel like you should have definitely gone for forward throw in that case. Now in the other situation, if the health was reversed, then that's okay. If the health is reversed, like where my health is the one that's low, then absolutely you should just mix up between the 3 throws because all 3 of them are going to win if you committed to doing a throw. You just need to make sure that it's one of the 2 I'm not escaping, and that it's not so predictable of a throw that I'm going to Abare, right? But you don't have to worry about that. Like I said, if you commit to doing a throw, you've committed to doing a throw. So the place where you can kind of play the mind game a bit, or at least just gamble a little bit, is when my health is low. Then you're like, well, if I'm going to commit to doing a throw, any of these throws will win, so I can just go with any of them because it's gonna be hard for them to deal with it if they try to escape, you know. So that's what I would say there. But you made a lot of really great. I thought you made really cool choices, and I thought your mid-range game against my Leon improved a lot. I thought you made some good choices, and part of it was also because you're using sidekick, right? So you're just sticking out the mid. And I think that's good because my gut told me many times maybe he's going to go for a low here, and you didn't, and that was really good. But more importantly, the reason I bring that point up is not to say, oh, it's great that you chose a mid instead of a low for the detailed read reason. It's good that you chose to do the mid, and you happen to do the mid because you've been focusing on sidekick, but it's because generally it's just the better, like, solid play, like in the mid range. And so sticking out the mid's fine. It's not like, I mean, unless I Sabaki or sidekick, that's the only thing you're worried about, you know? And I'm probably not going to do that there. It's really hard to do that. Like, the timing has to be on point. I don't know when you're going to do that sidekick, right? So doing a Sabaki in, like, long range neutral is really weird. But I think in the past, you probably would have done something like 6-6K or something like that, or 4-4K plus G even. Just to kind of, because that's what I do, is I use range lows quite a bit. And I think, but sometimes just doing the mid is just so solid because even if I defend against it, you're fine, you know? Yeah. And I think you and I definitely experiment with throw ranges more. We were playing a lot on the edge of each character's throw ranges. And so I thought that was really cool and interesting. That was tough because it caused us to whiff throw a lot. And once you whiff, it's really scary. I like the way you held your patience in the, if I would do stuff like poke again, try to prod you to do try to get you to try to swing late so I can counter hit you, and you didn't fall for it. And I think what you felt, I'm guessing, what you felt was like that you might not be the faster player in this case, so you just held your defense, you know, and it was really good. And then when you got Nitaku, you used it. So I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, because like I feel like I've fought you enough times now. Like I've gotten hit so many times, like in scramble situations, like trying to 2P and then you 8K over it. So
yeah.
So like, I felt like this time I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and see what he does and see if I can have some advantage after I block his attack.
100%. And your throw escapes got more and more on point as the set went on too. So of course then it becomes the guessing game after Leon's after throw escaping Leon because of his like angle movement, you know. But I think you do know that like you can beat me if I do the angled movement, but it is a big commitment because I can suddenly switch to like uppercut, you know. So, and so it's okay. It's like what you're doing is mostly the safer approach anyhow, whether you know it or not. But the safer approach is still very good. It's not a bad one. It's just more of like, okay, this is how we're fighting the post throw escape game. So I thought a lot of your choices again at mid range were very good. I thought some of your mid choices were really on point. I thought you managed. I think you did the right amount of crushing, but like not going way too overboard on it. So it's only a few times where you got punished for it, not much. So that's really good. You don't want to do it too much, and you definitely don't want to do it too little against someone like Leon because you want to make him afraid to use lows, afraid to use highs. I like places where you use 3P. I think like when I'm back turn and you use 3P, if you think I'm gonna like back turn kick, there are times where you've gotten really good at using 3P. You didn't do it much, like I think only maybe 3 or 4 times in the set, but it still is really it's really cool to see. But at the same time, again, you don't want to overdo it on crush because 3P's trade-off is that it just might be a little slower, right?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of find it hard to like use 3P as much. Just a weakness of 3P is that it's so slow. So like if you do like any like low attack or mid attack, like it's gonna it's gonna get beat.
It's all crushes have a trade-off, right? And the biggest and that one is okay. You're not in the air, but and you're not crouching exactly, but you're gonna lose to fast attacks. You're gonna get launched by a counter hit launcher, right? So that's the risk of doing 3P. And so I think you had a good balance of when you used 3P and when you were pretty confident that a sequence was going to play out where this is where he's going to do the high attack. And it was really good. Like, you nailed me pretty good with that. Okazemi's good. It is good to do down attack against me. I'm not the fastest at getting up. If I stay down, I'm not the fastest getting up. So I think the first half of our set is you got more down attacks. I think later on there were times where you could have either done a down attack or hit me on the ground, but you didn't. But I wouldn't over stress it. I would just say those are just little tiny points of damage you could do. But I don't think Kage is like a on the ground monster, right? So.
Yeah, like I could get like 2P plus K if I read it, but it's kind of unsafe, so I don't really try it that often.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Yeah, so it's one of those, like, you want to keep that in check, but sometimes, you know, you're just like, okay, this is happening too much. I'm just gonna hit him a few times, you know.
Yeah,
but it is
really
risky.
need to practice blocking rising kicks again, because like I got clipped so often and have it just like fuzzy guard.
Yeah. So, but
I wish I could have kept the offense there.
The good thing you did do later, though, was like if I rolled away, you did just stay on defense, and that's what you should do. What you should do is when somebody rolls away, you should be very greedy with defense. You just move towards them and you prepare to block the rising attack because you really want them to do it, so you can get that plus 15. You know. So if they roll away, and you did that, like in the end, well, you weren't greedy. In the end, what you did was you kind of stayed steady, but you still just went ahead and defended it. And I was like, that's the important thing. Because a lot of times in the past, I'd see you try to mix up against the person that rolled away. But when I roll away, you should really just be like, I'm just going to really punish them if they roll rising attack. And if they don't do rising attack, well, it's neutral and that's fine, right? And also, if they roll away, well, you're Kage. I don't want to be at the edge of the ring. You know what I mean? So roll away also put me in a positional disadvantage, unless I was rolling away to the middle of the level, right? And even then, you're fine. Kage is fine anywhere on the stage. But rolling away typically is going to put somebody usually in a bad spot. So what you can think about that is just, because in the past, I used to clip you with rising attacks like a lot. Just by doing rolling away and just delaying it a lot. And that's the trick with rolling away, is that the timing is very different from side roll.
Yeah.
And so because of that, that's why you get clipped a lot. But it's like, oh, because you committed to doing the mix up, like the attack, too early, right? It's still a threat. So I would say, you know, and in general, you are a patient player. So this is just one of those situations where you're just a little less patient than maybe you should be, even though you're a patient player. And that's because in your mind you're like, oh, the window for rising attack is expired. But it's like, no, when they roll away, they can actually hold that rising attack quite a while. You know.
Yeah.
But in the last half of the set, you were great on that. That didn't cause you problems. It was mostly the quick situations where I might clip you with rising attack, you know. Like the ones that are just much quicker and are happening faster. And I'll just, you know, I play around with the timing a bit. But what else? So I've already told you a lot of the choices I liked. I like especially the mid choices and very targeted crush choices. The throw choices got better as the set went on. But they were always kind of solid. It's just that I was accepting the back throw a lot, right? So, you know, I was just taking the back throw until I was starting, you know, but the more even things got, or the more I was losing, the more I would start, you know, acting more on reads on throw escape. Because generally I just don't want to eat your forward throw. And so that's kind of really what it is I don't want to eat that forward throw. But later on, it does open up because I start escaping the back throw, right? And that's why I like about that is the thing I like about the second best throw strategy, or what we call the number 2 throw strategy, which is use your second best throw or your second best throw direction And once they escape that, now you know you can start doing the forward. You know, like you can
Yeah.
start doing the
Yeah.
best throw. You know, and or like you can start mixing up once they actually break it. You know. And it's solid. It's good. I like it way more than the neutral throw strategy. I'll tell you that. So you know, I'm not a fan of the neutral throw strategy. I really am not. I mean, unless your Okizeme is ridiculously good. Like I'm like the way you measure a neutral throw strategy is if how good are you at the neutral throw Okizeme. If you're winning a lot on it, then by all means do that. You know, but you need to be counting like the total score, like the total point, the total amount of damage you're doing from that. Because otherwise you're just making your throw decisions worse. You know, you're like I don't know, you're like doing like Tekken or Street Fighter throws in Virtua Fighter. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
that's why I'm not a fan of the neutral throw strategy. So,
Yeah. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with like the situation after Kage's neutral throw, because like. It's like I can OM and like still like block a rising kick, or like if I think they'll rising kick, I can like crouch backdash and whip punish with the heart wheel, which is huge damage.
yep. Yeah. So that's why I'm like saying just make sure you're keeping score, right? And it's like on balance, I'm doing a lot, and you're like that's all you need to know. Or on balance, it led to a ring out, it led to a wall damage, or it did the damage. Any of those things. It bought time. Any of those things. If those things are on, those are positive scores, right? But if like you're losing on the Okizeme, then you got to change your strategy. Or if you're just getting nothing from it, then I'm like, you have better throws, you know. You know. But neutral throw is not a bad throw. It's a really good throw. It's just more of just make it sure that you're making the best use of that neutral throw if that's your strategy.
Yeah.
But you're doing a good mix strategy. You're doing neutral. Like I saw neutral, and I think the second throw was a back throw, right? And you just kind of knew that like it would be a while before forward throw would become an option. You know?
Yeah.
So I thought you already executed on that very well. What are your thoughts on Kage's 6K plus G?
6K plus G. I really like it, cause like it works against the entire cast, even like against Taka or even against like Aoi if she does Tenchi, and it just leads to so much damage and carry, and like also against like certain like strings or like attacks that are highs, I can get a really big punish if I crouch under it. And I want to see if I could. I'm not sure if it's too hard or not. I'll have to lab it more, but I really want to see if I can like hug 8KK on reaction and then heart wheel. But I also tried to use it when I was waking up, because like I know you like to do stuff like hard break on wake up. So I figured like okay, all right, so. Sometimes I could try like when I tech roll, do like crouch dash into heart wheel, and if I get hit, okay, I get hit crouching, maybe it won't be that bad. But if you did like a high attack or something, I can punish it with cartwheel, and I think I did land that once.
Yeah.
Set.
I didn't remember you doing cartwheel that much, but I think when you used it, it was quite good. I will tell you, cartwheel is strong against a player like me, so it's really good for a number of reasons. The range is actually good. That it has multiple sets of hit frames. Like, is it 2 sets of hit frames? That's really good. That's really good against a player like me, because I do like to evade and still hit a button. So it'll clip me like a lot. And,
wait, I just realized, isn't like Leon's minus, because like cartwheel is minus 16 on block. Is Leon's minus 16 punishment all that great?
Well, technically, knowing that it's 4-4K, it's really hard to do.
Oh, 4-4K?
Yeah, 4-4K combo, because 4-4K is 15 frames, but that back input makes it really difficult to do. So you gotta treat it like a 16 frame Punisher, unless they do something like a string into a minus 15, like Jeffrey's 6 PP, right? Then I can do 4-4K. But if Jeffrey used but if like let's say someone uses like a knee, Like Jeffrey's knee is like minus 15, right? So I think so it's like if they do like a single attack that's like a minus 15, Leon shouldn't use 4-4K unless the recoil was huge. So because of the complicated input, they'll end up missing it. So what they should do, Leon should do then, is like eye poke into PK, which sucks. So it's like Kage doesn't have the best guard punish either, right? Leon has pretty bad guard punish because of his design is that he relies a lot on counter hit launchers, and his normal hit launchers are very committal and slower. They're like 19 and 20 frames. 4-4K is the fastest one, but that input makes it harder to use as like your typical 15 frame punisher. So even the Japanese will avoid using it as a 15 frame punisher unless it's the cases like I told you where you can see it coming a mile away, because you could input the dash really early. You can input the back early, you know, because otherwise you're gonna get that problem where it's gonna execute in 16 frames instead of 15. So I guess in that case, like, I can't really like toss out cartwheel randomly in neutral. No, but you should. So here's what I will say: you should.
I should?
Yeah, like you need to skill check your opponent, and that's a difficult one for Leon to do. That one's difficult. Yeah, Jean's gonna P plus KU or other stuff, but you really should, because you need to skill check your opponent. You need to watch. So when your health is high, try it. When your health is full, try it, and see if they punish on block. You need information, especially in the first attempt. You need information, and the information is, can they punish this? And you may be surprised how many people cannot punish. This game is way harder to punish than most fighting games. This game is a lot harder to actually guard punish than a lot of fighting games. So and the irony is that the stronger the more, like, beyond the beginner might have an easier time doing a guard punish than somebody that's more further along, because the player that's further along has just got a lot more possibility space occupying their head. They are mentally stacked just on the normal options of VF. Their priority and their experience is saying, you know what, mid throw is just better if I don't know the situation. When I commit to the punish, and a 15 frame punish is almost always like a high attack, when I punish, I'm going to risk losing to low punch. So that's why it's harder. It's harder because the recoil in this game is typically on stuff like a minus 15 is way shorter than like, it's not like, you know, when you play Tekken, the attacks that are like minus enough for you to really punish, like they really show, like they really have this big recoil effect, and it's kind of like, this is a punishable attack. Like once you start seeing it, then you're like, oh, now I know what a punishable attack. You might not consciously know that, but subconsciously the game is telling you when something's punishable on a lot of stuff. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. In VF, it's actually a little harder. It comes fast, right? Jeffrey's knee comes fast. And Jeffrey's knee goes fast. So it's actually, I've seen so many people miss the punish, right? You know, because like, you don't, and Pies is like the worst. Pies is like, you need to punish now. Like you need to punish already. You need to punish that the moment that that white spark happened from the block. You know, like, and if you're late, you're gonna be late. You know what I mean? But other games like Tekken, Street Fighter, King of Fighters especially, has like this ridiculous recoil. It's like, it's a stun, and so you can see it's like, right? It's like, oh, this is punishable. And King of Fighters, you just have to get used to the logic that like your heart attacks are better at punishing, you know, because that's like counterintuitive from other games, right? You know, so. But Virtua Fighter, what happens is that moment goes by so fast. That recoil is a lot less unless it's a counter hit. So a lot of times the on-block recoil can't, unless it's very specific attacks. Like, you know, some of Akira's attacks are ridiculous, right? Like, I gotta wait to Nitaku because Akira is still, because both Akira and I are still recoiling from that attack he did. You know? So that's different. But, so those cases might be an easier punish. But a lot of stuff comes, a lot of minus 15s and minus 13s just come at you fast, and they go. And so So you definitely want to skill check you just want to see. So in that set we played, right? If I did guard punish it, if I did do a 4-4K combo, that could have won a round, but it could be ring out, so that is a risk. But like, let's say you did have me push forward, or in a position where I couldn't ring you out, and your health is full, and you have this gut feeling that this cartwheel actually could work, then it's totally worth doing, and the risk is not that bad. The risk can put you in position to lose the round after a couple more exchanges, it's true. But it's not going to kill you. It's not going to definitely lose the round. It'll just lead to, like, you're just still fighting, right? But you need to check to see if your opponent can do it. It's similar to, like, if you have stagger combos, you should check to see if your opponent can break stagger or not, and you should act accordingly. So, like, if they're bad at breaking staggers, well, now you have a new set of combos that work against them. And it's like, I know it, for some people that feels dishonest, but no, this is how fights work. This is a fight. We're fighting. I need to attack your weaknesses. You need to attack my weaknesses. I need to use my strengths. You need to use your strengths. 6K plus G is a really good move. Not only that, it's a forward moving move, right? So then what's the frame if you hit it at the very, like, late frame? Like, if somehow it was at well, it's hard because it's 2 sets of attack frames. So I don't know if it can really do that.
I feel like I tested in Trainman. I think it's still like minus 16 even if you space it.
Okay, that's probably because of the 2 hits, because it's got 2 sets of attack, right? So because you're gonna definitely tag on the first set, and then the second one's just an extra hit. So that kind of locks in the second hit. It's like it's the string problem, right? where like, you know, like Leon's PK, right? That second K, it launches on counter hit. But why do we not see it that much? Well, because you gotta whiff the P. You gotta whiff the P, or they have to block the P and eat this K, right? The first P just cannot hit for that to happen, because if the first P hits, the second one's definitely a normal hit. The kick is normal hit, right? So, but that's why where you see me use it is in the opening, because if I do PK in the opening and you just backdash attack, I'm gonna counter hit you with that second kick, with the kick part, and then you'll see, then you'll get launched, right? Yeah. And so that's the string challenge. Is you know, similar to Jeffrey doing 6 PP against John and Vanessa, right? He wants to like counter hit with the second one, because if he counter hits with the second one, he has really good combos against both those characters. Because jab like will bounce them. So it's really hilarious. It's, oh wow. Yeah, so you should check. Yeah, you should check it out. If Jeffrey does 6P and just really delay for the second P, and the second P counter hits John or Vanessa, he gets to hit, like, jab will cause them to bounce off the floor. And against Vanessa he has like a really big combo. Against John he has a good combo. But against Vanessa, he's got like a ridiculous combo off of 6P delay P. You know? So yeah, and that's not an intuitive thing to see. It's just more that you see it in Japanese match. You're like, oh, okay, you know. Like, but it's like only John and Vanessa because they're tall, you know. So, yeah. So
okay, got it then. And I'll try to toss a cartwheel in neutral.
Try it in your matches. If you're afraid to do it in ranked, then try it in your room matches. But I actually dare you to try it in ranked, because it's a good move. It's a really good move. And of course, can it be a weakness? 100%. If it gets evaded and they don't hit a button, you're in trouble. And if they guard it, they could guard punish it. I'd worry more about the evade punish, but and the problem with the evade punish is, okay, if you get too greedy with it, that's like and you know, this is like my issue for me, which is if you try to kill with it, you might put yourself in ring out position on the perpendicular. Right? Like they evade and suddenly now they're 90 degrees, they've shifted the battle 90 degrees, and now they can ring you out to the side, right? You know? So that's the risk. But I do encourage you to probe a bit more, because your defense is really good, and your offense keeps increasing, and it keeps seeing the opportunity. I'm not trying to change your style of play, but I am encouraging you to just like, that's a move that's probably worth trying to throw out there and see how people respond. And then how to deepen your reads of people. Because I think you're a player that acts very well in reads. But if you're not throwing this risk out when it's an acceptable risk, when it's not going to kill you, then you might be missing some information that could have won you more games. And so at the same time, as a training partner, I like it if you do it more because I do want to improve my guard punish. But you'll be surprised how long I'll still be very inconsistent with guard punish because my brain will be thinking much more about mid throw because Leon has crappy guard punish, except against Taka, right? The wonderful thing about fighting against Taka as Leon is Leon finally gets good guard punish because elbow punch combo. So he has a 14 frame punisher that's just always good,
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
So it's like, but it also makes me realize like, okay, I am able to guard punish. It's just that my priorities are more on the mix up because I win more on the mix up as Leon, but that also means that if my opponent realizes I'm not guard punishing that much, like you guys see me guard punish on the -13 because a lot of people do it more. That's true, but the -15, actually, a lot of people in America don't do it enough. Japanese do it a lot. So Japanese, they'll just, like I've always said, the Japanese players will keep doing the launcher until they see you punish it twice. If they see you punish it once, they're like, okay, they'll think about it, but they'll still do it. But once they see you punish it twice, then they're like, okay, this is like, punish is real. The risk is real. So now I'll be... But it's not like they stop using the launcher. They just start measuring when they do it. And so I think this is a really good approach to the game. And this also makes people stronger too. So if your opponents are not guard punishing it, they should, and eventually they will. But I think you also see that in North America and in the West. In North America particularly, because Europe doesn't have this problem. In North America, a lot of people are not as good at guard punish actually. Partly because people are so afraid to do guard punishable things in VF. Partly because they came from Tekken or other games. So... But in this game, evade punish is a much bigger deal than guard punish, if you want my honest opinion. So, like, evade punish is more scary. In Japan, if they see you do the evade punish, then they'll definitely reconsider the move, and that's why they'll stick to the boxing then. So, but yeah. But again, there's also another dynamic, which is even the evade punish. They have to not hit a button so they don't get clipped by the second set of hit frames. By that, so cartwheel's really good. Mess around with it and find out. But of course, I'm not telling you to change your style to be wild and crazy. I think the way that you play is actually very, very strong. It's very good. But you could just build a little bit more reads during the set. So yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah. And actually, I have a kind of feeling that my neutral needs a little more ice recently, cause I have like a set of options I like to do. Like sometimes I like to do like slide or like X6K, or like I'll go into like Jumanji and do like that Kage like flip string. Or like sometimes I'll like run up jab or like run up 3K, but like sometimes I feel like I'm like getting beat out by buttons, so maybe just tossing out a cartwheel sometimes to...
I do think cartwheel's better for this reason. I do think cartwheel's better for that reason. I can't say too much about the running. I mean, I'm not really scared of the running, just simply because backdash evade deals with a lot of those options really well. But I have to admit that like General Ripper's pretty good at knowing when to do them. So, at least against me. So, General Ripper has been very interesting when they choose to do it. And of course, of course, Boat Lady chooses very good moments to do it too. Though I think I've actually backdash evaded it more often than not against them, but they're not always doing it though. And traditionally 6-6K would threaten me a little more, but some people can react guard it, and that's so you have to kind of make that as part of your profile of your opponent. Like, are they gonna react block it? And I know on a good day I would probably react block the 6-6K, but the fun thing about 6-6K is it can go into a mix-up game, but that is over convoluted and it's a lot of risk for something that doesn't give you much reward, you know. But I think the main point of doing 6-6K is actually to do the 6-6K cancel so that you can do the back turn game in a very weird way. But that's, again, really complicated and you could have done better games. you know? It's just that's more getting meta between the two players, you know? And that's totally okay. Oh, I think I'm watching a match of Kree right now. And this might be the Kree that I'd heard about, so very cool. But, yeah, but I do think your Okizeme improved. I felt it in the first half of the set, that your Okizeme was putting a lot more pressure on me. I like that.
Okay, that's good, yeah.
I think, again, you're not over relying on 9K plus G, so when you did use it, it was very consequential and pretty scary. So
Nice. Yeah, that's good to hear.
So like, you know, could you use it more? Maybe, but maybe you used it perfectly. I don't know. But I thought you used it well, and I think I was in the mind space of not trying to do too many lows, but you called out a lot of lows. Even when I thought that I was keeping it under control and doing more mids. So I thought you did really good with that. So as far as your crush goes today, I felt very good about it. You can tell me if you felt, I mean, you can watch the matches and see for yourself if you think you could have crushed more or not. Or if you should have. It's not even if you could have. It's just more should I have or not, right? Because sometimes it's how much your opponent's doing it. I know that I was trying not to be crushed too much. But I also know I did still end up doing lows because I think one thing that happens in the match between you and me is when the neutral extends a lot, that's where maybe I start trying to find a way to crack you, and that's where the lows come out, right? And I think you got better at dealing with it at the wall. So when your back was to the wall, you were trying to punish me anytime that you felt that the low was definitely gonna come. So I thought that was really good. I thought you were pretty on point in that situation. So, yeah. The situation where I could get a free low on you would be sometimes if the neutral prolonged and I would just stick a 1K. Now, I'm not saying you should just flat out block low, but I can give you an advice on that. So the advice on that is that's where, if the neutral prolongs, this is where dash into ECD or dash into evade cancel is pretty good. You might want to consider like adding your movement in the neutral to incorporate ECD and dash ECD. And the reason is that, especially dash ECD. So if the neutral is really awkward, dash ECD. So why that? When you do the ECD, the good thing is that you can still react to stuff. If it's like if they're both playing, nobody's committing. We're not forced guessing yet. So we're playing this neutral and we're shuffling, right? Then when you do like ECD, you're doing it to give yourself buffer room. You're doing it so that in the neutral, like, I might happen to evade this thing. But I also, if I'm not, I'm gonna crouch dash, and this is gonna give me a point of reference because I'm still watching my opponent. And I can start to see how their attack option is gonna interact with what I'm doing right now. So if it's after the evade cancel, but it's in the neutral, you can still probably basically stand guarded after you dash cancel, after you crouch dash cancel, right? So it's almost like a fuzzy guard there. But then when you start seeing like they do some real slow low attack, you could probably react block low because your mind is activated. You're not bored, you're not waiting on the time, you're just using the activity to kind of stimulate your brain. And then you're like, oh, they're going to do a low, so I can just go ahead and go down to the low guard while I'm in the middle of this ECD. So using movement at the level that you're at will, I think, help you give more reference points to improve your reaction game and in the neutral form. So I encourage you to do a little bit more evade canceling and also dash canceling in the neutral, just a little bit. Just mess with it, and mix in with that crouch dash and the standing guard. Okay, crouch dashing too. Now you are doing some crouch dash. I think you scored some good hits in the neutral because you just went crouch dash into attack. And I think you actually caught me a few times with that. So do stuff like that. But those lows in the neutral, that's one of their big weak points. So here's the weak points of low attacks. A lot of low attacks are really slow. The fast ones are almost all linear or can be evaded. So you just have to know the evade direction, right? But even like Leon's like really scary ones are ones that you could probably evade cancel into a low block. Okay, so the thing is okay. Like let's say I did 1K, it's gonna be weak to evade. Like evade will kill it. And when you do evade cancel, when you get used to doing this more, when you get used to spamming the evade cancel in the neutral or in small advantage situation, you'll start to realize like that you can do it and it's not going to really cost you too much, even when you get the successful evade, because if you did your dash cancel or your crouch dash cancel cleanly, it's not going to cause you to get hit by like a string or anything like that. That's not going to happen. So what ends up happening is you get better at reacting when you do get a successful evade, and you'll know whether you need to defend because of that or whether you have an advantage and you can start attacking because of it. And this is going to improve your Kage. But it's also going to make stuff like low attacks in the neutral way more risky for your opponent to do against you. Right? So like 1K clipped you a lot because you just stood guard. But if you had done like ECD, you had a chance to block it low probably, but you also had a chance to evade successfully. And then if you responded with this successful evade, you get to launch. You get to do whatever you want. That move is screwed. You know? In fact, what I would say is Kage, I think, what frame is Kage hopping with 9K plus G? How many frames before he's actually in hop state?
I don't know. I don't know the information off the top of my head, but like I never felt like I've lost to a low attack because I hit 9K plus G too late. So I'm tempted to say.
I feel like it's right away. I feel like it's right away because I've seen Kage players like evade, see that they evaded like 1K and right away 9K plus G. You know what I mean? So practice that. But practice using the evade cancels in the neutral. Practice using crouch dash into guard in the neutral. Practice doing all the movement in the neutral. It's going to improve your Kage. And it's going to give you ways to react, because sometimes you wish you had buffer room to do some stuff, right? This is how you create it. So it is putting you at disadvantage. Now you do have to learn when to put it away. Okay? So if you fight like a player like Denkai and you fight him offline or on a really good connection, you can still do it, but the moment he starts like perfectly elbowing you every time you crouch, you gotta like change your movement options or not do it as much. Yeah. Okay, but he's literally like 1 in a million on that. Okay, because even for Japanese, there's not many players that can like really like counter time you the way that Denkai can do, right? But that is the risk. That is the risk of moving a lot in the neutral. But I think your Kage benefits from it. But again, it's just another skill, and you can learn how to turn it off. You know, you already are good at playing without it, so we're not worried about that. Just remember that as you're working on it, okay, if it's not working, I put it away and I'll bring it later. You know, but it becomes really important. Like when you fight Akira, you're gonna want to master this skill because you need that against a very active Akira. Really strong. It helps you counter a lot of what they do because they're just afraid of you evading them as much as anything. And this is going to unlock more capability of your crouch dash into uppercut or other tools that Kage has. So it's going to enhance your utility. So definitely my recommendation is work more of the movement into your neutral, because I think right now I do think that I'm getting a lot of free low attacks against you in the neutral because you're standing guard a lot and watching, you know. But at the same time, it's still hard to respond to like a 1K because it's 17 frames, right? And so the 1K is catching you, but if you had been doing movement, there was actually a good chance you would have evade punished it or even low block, like react low guard, just simply because you were doing the ECD. You're already there, and trust me, the more you do it, your brain is just going to be activated. So you're just going to like suddenly go, oh, there's the low attack, I just guard low. You know, like that's one of the tricks with it. So keep working that, because I think and certainly that is like what a player like, you know, like Boat Lady does, is they're a person that always wants to hit buttons and hit directions, and so they'll make it work for them in that sense. In your case, you are more patient, so now I'm like, well, learn how to be patient while moving around, and then don't be afraid, because you're going to learn how to turn it off when you need to. But to be honest, more often than not, it's going to help you a lot. And ranked right now, but also stuff like tonight's room, like when I do my room battles tonight, that's a great environment to practice it. It's really, like, league battle is a great environment to practice this. So, really fantastic, because you'll get to see its effect on everyone. You'll get to see where it works for you, where it doesn't. Just have faith that you will improve with it. Even if it's going bad right away, I know that you're gonna improve with it, and I think you're gonna like it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try to incorporate like ECD more in like ammo situations and in neutral, because like I kind of process with like all of those like awkward neutral situations where you kept hitting me with 1K. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm getting knocked out by 1K, but it's not doing that much damage, and like I can like set up a read later.
That's correct.
But I felt like I didn't need to capitalize on that a little more, maybe like punish you for doing that a little more, but also like if I just do ECD, like, yeah, that can avoid the 1K, and I can still be like,
yeah, very patient, and then yeah, you can totally keep managing the situations, right? So and against Leon, again, evade to his back, so you know, that's my biggest tip. Even if you're afraid of his 4K, you should never be afraid of his 4K. Leon's 4K is just like his other attacks that cover his back. They're all set up. They're all potential damage, but they're not going to really do the damage, you know? So they're all stuff you can still react to. And you've gotten really good at that too. Like, I think it was like game 1 or 2 where we just like poked back and forth, and you were not phased. Or you didn't look phased, at least from my view, you didn't look phased at all. You know? So it was really great. So. I thought it was funny when we just jabbed each other and elbowed each other, you know, and we're still waiting for that counter hit. We're still like, I didn't get the counter hit yet, you know. So.
Yeah.
So like, you're hanging tough in there. I guess the last thing I can think of was, I did comment on my stream that Jumanji is a difficult thing. Because when you do Jumanji, I mean, I encourage it. I think Jumanji is an awesome stance, actually. It's just, the reason I say it's a difficult thing is like, man, you kind of need to hit to do Jumanji, right? And so if you do Jumanji when like they guard the elbow, it sucks. You know? So, but especially against an 11 frame jab, right? And so it was an interesting thing, but I thought your use of the stances were very good, both of them, because you're not overdoing them, and you did score quite a bit of Sabaki and Crush with Jumanji stance, which is its job. Your Shippu stance doesn't feel as threatening to me as, like, let's say some other players like Ripper, but it still is threat. So I take all Shippu stance very seriously. But right now, I don't feel like I lose to your Shippu stance that much. And part of it's probably because I don't think I ever expect you to do the low option from it.
Yeah, I kind of fish for the mid option a little too much because like it has like a little like evasive property where it can like go under hive, so it's like really good at punishing people if I go into shipperton on block. So I actually do land at quite a few, quite a bit on other players, but like, against you, like you're pretty patient. So yeah, I couldn't really like hit you.
I'll just say, so it's not that like, it's not about like, oh, you need to start using the sweep option from Shippu now. That's not what I'm like, that you need to start using it. That's not what I'm saying. What I will say though, it's just like with the cartwheel. Check your opponent. Do it just once in a while. Just do it, or just do it a little more. Just throw it in there at least once. Just simply throwing it in there once will put it in my brain for the rest of the set. You know? And so, and then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to hit with the mids now. You know? So it's like, just stick it in like maybe one for every like 5 mids. Just stick it in there just so that your mids have a better chance at hitting. You know? And so, like, because I've never seen you do that, and so I just don't assume you're gonna do it. Ripper now does do it like maybe twice. It's like, oh my god, I got to deal with this thing, you know. And so does it have a weakness? Absolutely, but you know that's the game. You know, that's the stance game, you know. But it's good, and it's like I'm not telling you to use it a lot. I'm just like you just need to just at least put it in my brain that you could do it. You know. And so, and here's the second part. I just told you that especially with -15, you really want to skill check your opponent. You want to build your profile, your read of your opponent. And so one of those checkboxes was they do or they do not punish -15. Right? Now, there's another checkbox. They do or they do not punish low attacks. Okay?
Yes, that's true.
And they do or they do not punish low attacks well. Because we know there's crappy low punish and there's good low punish. Now, sadly for Kage, he's stuck in like almost always crappy low punish. So he either, you know, it's gotten better now. But generally, like in Final Showdown, he just like preferred to crush it. Because it's so hard to do the full damage on the actual punish, because it was like just frame territory before. That got better, but but that applies to everyone because everybody has to figure out good low punish has to be labbed in this game. That is one of those things that has to be labbed. Like you don't just kind of incidentally do it because a lot of combos lose their luster against crouch. And so, so that's definitely a checkbox you want to have in your profile of your opponent. Do they punish the low? And then number 2, are they really threatening me when they punish low? Are they actually threatening me, or am I winning on balance here? So basically, do they do the big damage when they block this low? And that'll open up stuff like your other things. Now, I think you know that I have punished after 4 K plus G against you. But it is a mix though. It's pretty even. It's like you've nailed me good with it, and other times I've been able to fight after it, you know. But that's different because I know that 4 K plus G is more of a Final Showdown move than a Revo move, right? Like, did they nerf that move, or they just made it not as great at the wall, or is it still pretty crazy?
No, it's the same at the wall, and honestly, yeah, I should have tried to use it a little more against you, but like, I was kind of fishing for like P plus K or like a late P plus K a bit too much. I didn't
P plus K
that 4 K plus G option at the wall.
But it is really, really good. But your P plus K opens when you use 4 K plus G. So
That's true, yeah.
like it opens the door for you. So you know, at least when you're playing players at our levels, right? When you're playing players at our levels now, like we're thinking about it, and that's what we want. At you know, players that are learning, maybe they'll never think about it, so it's a little different. But a player like me is going to think about it. So, and I might not respond to it yet, but I'll think about it. And then later on, but even if I'm thinking about it, that's going to cause me to hesitate a little, right? So it's gonna have a net effect one way or the other, even if it's not the direct effect you want. But definitely, I didn't see 4-4K plus G at all today, and I know that you know how to use it, and I know that I've seen you score damage at the wall with it, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes you just got to remind your opponent that Kage is terrifying at the wall, right? With that move especially, because that's like the low, and the lows have a higher chance to crack people than the mids, but the mids open up. But once they're worried about the low, then the mid's huge, right? And so that's the secret. Like, why is it that Chanchai is weak to mid attacks when he wakes up? Because somewhere in his brain he was traumatized by lows on wake up. Okay, but if you don't do that to me at the wall, I'm not going to be traumatized yet. So that one you do have to add to my trauma. But you know inherently from fighting me that doing mids against me when I tech roll or wake up is really good, because a lot of times I'm trying so hard to crush the low, or I'm worried more about the low, and that's from the VF3 days when that's like how you pretty much won the rounds, you know. So it's one of those things where, okay, well, that's Chanchai's PTSD is not my problem, it's my benefit. But in the case of the wall, he doesn't seem to be trying to worry about the lows here. So now it's like, yeah, you need to just do a few lows against me near the wall to remind me that Kage is really scary when he has that. You know, yeah, and then it also adds to my mental stack, because now I have to think about that. And now, like, now I'm just a little more off balance. So, yep. So that's my advice. I felt like the set was really good. I thought you did a lot of really great stuff. It's just me trying to fish for, like, what do I think VolcanoShed should do better and give me more health, and those are the things that I thought of. So
Okay.
Round three.
but
I'm trying to. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to remember all the like main points of what you told me. Okay. Okay. So first of all, if I have like a big life deficit, or like when the ring out is on the table for 10-foot toss, I should just try it.
in this case, yeah. In this case, you should just go for you need to go for what we call the override, right? The override is doing Kage's 10-foot toss when the opponent's in position to be wrung out by it, you know? But especially, like, if your life is low, your throw choice is already a risky choice, by the way. But if you're going to make that choice, it might as well be the game ender. Okay? So that's number one, was that basically, in that situation, you totally should have gone for 10-foot toss. But understand, like, it's because the risk of the throw decision was that any attack was going to kill you. But you committed to making a throw decision. So if you're going to do it, it might as well be the game ender. It's also because if they escape the throw, you can still fight that situation. You're still fighting, right? You're not going to give up because I escaped the throw, right? So because of that, you should totally be going for the game-winning throw. Now, okay, but it is complicated because the players know each other, and so if you know each other well, then that changes things a little. That, you know, like when high-level players fight each other, the reason they do neutral is because they know that they know that at the level they're fighting and the way they know each other, that every little bit help matters. So that's why they've got to do the neutral throw. But when the matchup is not that mature, the throw mix-up is really important, and you really should still use the back forward mix-up or whatever, you know what I mean? But anyways, in the case of this specific question though, you definitely should have gone for the 10-foot toss. You should have gone for the ring out throw. There was another time where your back was to the wall. That's when I would have maybe said you should do the back throw because you could have wrung me out, right? Because I think Izuna drop like rings out behind you. Is that true?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So that there was one time where I commented on stream like he should have done the Izuna drop because I think he had the ring out, and you didn't. So you know. So those are what we call overrides. So in my theory on Yomi is basically there's the bias, what your opponent wants to do, right? What your opponent wants to do, likes to do, or tends to try to do, right? And that one's not situational. This is like their general preference. This is like they always want to go for this throw. They always want to go for this combo damage, whatever. It's something that you can read. Okay, this is their general game plan, right? The second concept is what I call the pivot. The pivot is how much do I gotta deny them their bias before they'll change what they do. What's their threshold for frustration? What's their threshold for changing their mind? Right? That's the pivot. When will they pivot off of the bias? Number 3, override. Override is something that gives you such a huge advantage that you should do it. So override is stuff like doing the ring out play. Override is doing the wall play. Override is doing neutral throw when the lives are low enough that neutral throw is lethal. If the established pattern is that the people are not escaping that they've never been escaping neutral throw, or that they've been escaping forward and back throw, and we've been doing forward and back throw, neutral throw becomes a more shiny option when neutral throw becomes lethal. And so that's why that's categorized as an override, because it's a very common way to end the round. And so it's not that you have to do the override, it's you're reading, does my opponent do the override? And if they and then you get to make a decision on your Yomi and how you play them based on whether they do it or don't do it. Does that make sense? So the ring out throw was the override. The ring out throw was like, you really should go for this, because if you're correct, you will just win. And so you should be doing it. And my read is like, are they doing it? And if the answer is no, I get to do a lot more options. If the answer is yes, I have to really think about that you're going to do that, and it's going to constrain my choice then. Then you can out-mind game there, right? Based on how I play. But in that situation, when you told me your health was low, and I was in ring out position, and you decide to throw me, even though your health was low, so you're committing to the throw choice, then absolutely you should go for the one that's going to win you the round right away. Everything else was just going to prolong the fight anyway. If I through escape you, we would still be fighting, so you're not in trouble. If I escape the throw, you're not in trouble. So it's one of those things where you should have gone for that throw. And so it was funny that I, for whatever reason, escaped back throw there, you know. But instead, it on our match, it looks like that was a good read. But I'm gonna tell you, no, it was a bad choice. On both our parts. You know, like I should have escaped that, right? Even if it was a good read, it might look brilliant because I won that round, but it's not. You know what I mean? So that becomes your read later on. Oh, this guy doesn't escape forward throw, and I'm gonna ring him out. I'm gonna do it more. You know, right? So you know, so that's why you should totally do the override. At the very least, you should get the information from doing it too.
Yeah. That is very true. Yeah, I should definitely get the information, because like I have fought people where like I could just 10-foot toss them all day, and it makes my life like way easier.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, I never had. Well, I think that was the first time, like that specific situation I was talking about. I think it was the first time where I had a situation. Okay, I can ring out with 10-foot toss. In the sense, I didn't check it beforehand. So I wouldn't have known if you would have broken it or not. So I definitely should have checked it.
Yeah. So you're a smart player. You do have good Yomi. You actually do have a good natural Yomi. I've seen you build plans for it. But you do get discouraged quite a bit. And don't be mad about yourself about that. But the way to combat that discouragement is not to be hard on yourself about it. Not even to say it's just such a big weakness. It's just to build, just to gather more information. Dare yourself to gather more information. You're a player that plays with information, but you're right now. Some of your information's noisy right now, because you're thinking too much about winning this situation, winning that situation. But now you need to guide this more strategically for the whole game and for the whole set. So that's why I'm saying, okay, so now the information you need to know is not, oh, what do? They tend to do this, they tend to do this. It's, this thing was game winning, I should do this, right? This is a high damage thing. Do they punish it? They don't punish it. Now that's going to inform. Now this is less noise, right? Running away from finding those things out makes it more noisy because you don't know. That's also why I say I don't like the neutral throw strategy. The neutral throw strategy doesn't know which way they did the throw escape. It just knows they weren't throw escaping neutral, or they were.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing the strongest throw will tell you. If you do 10-foot toss, you will know if they escape it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And if you do it 5 times, you'll know how many times out of 5 they escape it. And that's valuable. And in a 10 game, in a first to 10, that is really valuable. You know what I mean? And then if they change, if later in the set they start escaping it, that information is valuable. Much more valuable than whether they escape neutral or not. You know? Now, whether they escape neutral when their life is low, that is valuable. Okay? That's why that's an override there. Right? You want to know valuable information. Are they good at guard punish? Valuable information. What do they do in Nitaku? Valuable information. Do they do Nitaku? Do they reverse Nitaku? That's huge information, right? If you fight a Go player and they don't do reverse Nitaku, that's like, you're like, yay, thank you. But if you do fight a Go player and they do reverse Nitaku, you gotta be really thinking about these choices now. You know? So, but like, so you want to have the game-winning information for both sides. And then, and so for you, I think you've been looking at all this information, but I don't think you're putting it in the context of how to put it into a plan exactly. Like, you do plan. You plan. Let's make it clear. But I think my old critique of the way that you play is that you keep cutting stuff out. Right? But you've gotten better at that. You've gotten much better about not, like, when we played 6 months ago, when we played a year ago, it's like you're cutting stuff out. You're like, oh, doesn't work. So your checkbox is way too strict, right? It's about yes or no, a little too much. But that's not really what I'm saying you should do. Because what I told you is you should play more of these long set battles like first to tens. Why? Because it shifts. The path, the way players play shifts. My experience gets to tell me that, oh, he's doing this thing. Okay, now we're gonna change what we do. Because I'm ready for it. But from the way you played like a year ago, you were like, oh, he beat that. I can't use it anymore. And I'm like, no, you can later. But you got to change it. And how do you change it? Well, okay, these mids aren't working. Start doing lows. You know what I mean? Okay, the low's not working. Start doing mids, or start whatever. You know, the attack's not working. You know, defend or throw, right? Stuff like that. Like, you gotta. There's a lot of pivoting that happens. This game is such a rock paper scissors game that it can't help but pivot. So you got to work with the pivot. So now, today you didn't have the problem of cutting your options out. You kept them in play. You did. Okay,
nice. Yeah, that's good.
But I'm just saying that what's happening now is we're trying to mature how you gather information.
Yeah.
And so we're now talking about information quality. So today your challenge, it wasn't that. So you've overcome the problem of cutting options out. Okay, you don't have that problem anymore as much. So now it's about quality information, and that quality information is I should just go ahead and do the strong thing. Because I need to see what they do about the strong thing. And then remember that even if they do something about it now, later on there will be a time when maybe it comes back into play. But you just need to know. You need to know how they deal with it. And you need to know if they escape from ring out threats, right? Because if they don't, you should do them so much more, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You definitely need to test back throw when your back is to the wall. Not that you don't put yourself in danger to do that, but when you find yourself there and you decided throw is the answer, then you should go for the ring out that way, right? And then if 10-foot toss, but the great thing about that one is Kage gets to do both. Right? Kage gets to do Izuno drop to go behind him, but he also gets to do 10-foot toss and turn and then do a reverse combo, right? To ring him out. So you have those options, but at least you know which one they go for. But if you do like neutral throw, you won't know. So the quality of the information is really important. And like the price to pay is only if they abari. Right? The price to pay is only if they abari when it comes to throws. So yeah. So that's quality of information. I said I did say you should start using the the movement options a little more, like in the neutral specifically. And that's because you want to get in the mindset of being able to trap certain things. Once they finally commit, you are a more defensive oriented player, but you have gotten good at being very balanced now. But in addition to that, movement can stimulate your opponent to do stuff. But standing still, it'll encourage them, to try to crack you. It's true. And you can wait for them to come to you. But actually, sometimes if you just use movement, you'll realize, when you crouch dash into a standing guard, there's no attack that's 5 frames. So you don't have to worry about it too much. It's more about that they predict and that they were that far ahead of you to do that. It's really hard for them to actually hit you because you crouch dash. Unless it was just like your timing was too predictable. But the more you do this practicing all the movement options, the more you'll kind of learn how to kind of do them a little more safely over time. And of course, and then when you fight Harpooner, he's going to like punish you for doing it, but you're going to learn what you can and can't do with it. And you'll just keep improving as you go along with it, It will be a skill that improves. It's not like it's good or it's bad. It's let's figure out how we use this. But it is going to open up your opponent, because if they start doing low, and it's going to protect you from like the low threat. Because lows are either slow, and if they're fast, they're linear or half circular. And simply that fact makes it so that the lows become a worse threat. Like, they become weaker in the neutral if you start using movement like that. It's just, at first, it's harder. But this is also why stuff like Kage 66K will sometimes hit a strong player out of nowhere, So even though they should be defending against it, but if it's not one of the things they're looking out for, they might not block it the first time, So, but so that's my recommendation. Quality of information. Go with the override, because you want to know because that also gives you quality information if they defend it, but it gives you the win if they don't. The throw mix-up is really good when their health is really low. But you also have to work around the fact that they need to attack and defend properly when their health is low. So because of that, you just be very considerate of how that's working out. Because some people attack more when their health is low, and that makes throwing a bad option anyways. But if you do go into doing a throw, you've got a mix-up, and the mix-up is strong when their health is low enough that neutral would win. And again, use movement more in the neutral. But other than that, you're improving so much. You are, and you always have been. Every single time I fight you, you're getting stronger and stronger. And a lot of the trouble that you have with me is more about my experience with Kage, and maybe kind of the overall strategy stuff. But you're very good on tactics, and now you're using stuff. You're not taking stuff completely off the table like you were before, right? Your game is not getting worse as the set goes on. Your game is still consistently strong. You're just sorting out how to use it more. And now today we're like, this is how you get the information to do it even better. So
yeah.
All right, good luck, and I'm gonna get to work. But this was a fantastic time. I had a great time.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Chanchai.
Thank you.
I definitely got some really good notes written down, and I definitely have things that I want to practice in like training mode, or like also next time I play matches with other people. Some stuff I want to try. So yeah, that's good.
But also, well, something I will say is, right now, how do you feel about Kage's move list? Do you feel like there's just like a lot of good and bad moves? Do you feel like like all the moves are pretty good in some way, or how are you feeling about them?
I feel like most of Kage's moves I can find a purpose for them. Like Kage does have like some like really cool moves, like the like close go forward A plus G, where he like goes into like a handstand.
It's actually really
and, like,
good.
kicks upward.
Yeah, if you find a way to get it in, it's actually a scary mix-up. Yeah, or like it's really interesting. There's a reason you see even Japanese players use it, right? So, you know.
Yeah, but like in general, yeah, I feel like I can use like most of Kage's move list.
Yeah, Code. I mean,
well.
of course, you know that I'm always an advocate to say that I'm always saying almost all of the moves in the game are quite good. You just need to find where to use them. But
Yeah.
the thing is that what I'm also trying to caution against is that in Virtua Fighter, the way that all of its systems overlap and work together, there is a use for most moves in this game. And there is ways to use interesting moves that, like, where there's bad places for some moves, there's oftentimes a good place for those same moves. And it's important to know that, because this game is very mental stack heavy, because your opponent has to think of a lot of stuff. Now, when we learn things, we do want to prioritize, and as humans, prioritizing makes things easy. But there is a danger in Virtua Fighter when you min-max too much. Now, Tekken, you should totally min-max. You should totally min-max Tekken. And in Virtua Fighter, you should min-max to know what are the quote-unquote best options. That's true. But you should keep your options like broad. You should be able to keep a lot of options. You should be getting good at using a lot of options, because it is to your advantage. And because you're going to find creative solutions for a lot of this stuff in this game. And those creative solutions will a lot of times contribute to a big win. If you over min-max, your play becomes way too predictable in this game, because everyone knows what you're about, and then we just have to like stop those things. No problem. And that's what all the guides will tell you too. It's true. That's what Shiopun's tactical guides are teaching you, and their countermeasures guides is teaching you how to beat the best plays, or the trickier plays, right? But this game definitely rewards having more expertise with a lot of different things. And this game will let you do a lot and come up with creative solutions. Now, if you play Tekken, because it's so attack defense heavy, it is kind of, okay, when we're in this situation, this is the best option. Then other things are not. That's why when you watch high-level players play, when the same situation pops up, you'll probably see the same answer, right? The same combo. The same, like, this is the pressure. But then it changes more when it comes to, when you start having, like, sidestep changes things, or the movement changes things, you know, or the ring position changes things. But in that game, it is hard to break away from that. But in Virtua Fighter, it's a lot of things are potential, and it's good to have more options in this game, and it's good to totally use information against your opponent instead of having it used against you so much. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. So, yeah. All right, man. You have a good one. I'm gonna get to work.
Yeah.
But,
Thank you, Chanchai. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. All right, everyone. I hope you all had a good one, and I hope that made sense what I said. I hope you could hear VolcanoShed. I don't know if I heard anybody say if they could hear VolcanoShed, but I hope you guys were able to hear VolcanoShed on my screen. I think it's awesome that Silverbolt and J-Thor had matches. I love everything Ka had to say. So Ito Lago, so good to see you. Playing VF can be discouraging, real talk. It's true, but, well, for me, it's always encouraging, but I understand. I do. Blurry, so good to see you. Vixtro, I'm doing really good. I'm going to get to work now, but I had a wonderful time sparring with VolcanoShed. I know I put it on VF TV while we were talking. I think VF TV makes good video while we're talking. I love seeing Rushdown Turtle. Earlier, I saw a lot of players that I recognize and like, and I saw that Juno since been had quite a few matches with the Professor of Logic. So I think that was really cool. Anyways, we are gonna do dojo sessions tonight, so that's happening. But it's gonna happen tonight at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It does mean midnight Eastern Standard Time. That is later than we normally do it. But tonight I just got to do stuff with family, and that's why I've got to start it later. So I'll post about that, but I hope to see you all there tonight. Let's have a lot of fun tonight. It's gonna be great. All right, I'll catch you later. But I am going to raid someone. So let's see who we can raid.
This'll hurt you more than it hurts me.
Oh, thank you all so much for the support. A lot more people than I thought were watching, and I appreciate it a lot. I need to listen to hear what these streams say. Okay, hold on. Can't. Let's check it out on my phone then. I want to get the vibe before I send you guys off, you know. But you guys know I love doing the raids because it's just it's really good. So maybe this one looks nice. We'll see. Dang it, we got ads. That's okay. Only 10-second ads. We're fine. Alright, somebody is doing ranked. Let's try this person. I think they'll be nice and fun. Let's try it out. I don't know Sarah Hyde, but you know what? Say hi to them. Looks like they're from Jersey, and seems like they might be normally an anime fighter. But it is a different audience, so it might not be for everyone, but at least give them a try and see how they're doing, okay? So let's go ahead and try that. Thank you all so much, and have a good one, and I'll see you all tonight.